Boston, the winningest sports city this century. Each championship deriving from a plan. Join us as we discuss the next Boston Banner Blueprint with your hosts, Josh Finkel, Nick Walsh, and Nate Philbrook.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Boston Banner Blueprint podcast. It's episode 20. I'm making my long-awaited return from the IL. I've been out for a while. Tony missed last week, I believe, or whenever the last time was we posted. I can't even keep up with it. But before I get any further into this, Nate, let's plug those socials.
Absolutely. So we always want to start exactly where everybody can find us, and that starts on Twitter/X at Boston Banner BP. Boston Banner Blueprint on both Facebook and Instagram, and then TikTok, boston.banner.blu. For all those that are wondering, that is short for Blueprint. But if you have not liked and subscribed, you are missing out. So go like, subscribe, and follow us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Rate, subscribe, rate 5 stars. I think I already said that, but we're a little bit rusty on this episode, even though I haven't missed any, unlike you think. But let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, so we're just going to be diving into the Red Sox and their slowish but then hot start. The Celtics, how they're turning it up for their playoff push. A really tough Bruins season that wasn't that fun at all. We're going to talk a little bit about the Patriots, but we have a big episode on the Pats coming up Thursday, so we're not going to get too far into the Patriots. We'll save our thoughts for Thursday. We don't have the Walsh's Vault tonight. Walsh is taking the night off like I have been the last couple weeks. We do have Tony's 2 minutes, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully I can get on the board. But let's dive into it. The Red Sox revamped that roster, and we saw all the pieces making some noise in the first 10 games or so of the season, boys. So, I mean, what are your initial takes so far to start the year?
Well, I wouldn't say they made noise for all 10 games. It's more so the last 5 that the bats finally woke up. Yesterday, the doubleheader after the rain out on Saturday, great dramatic extra innings win, comeback win in game 1. Like, good to see the fight. Like, I know the season's young, but that out of their 5 wins so far, that was by far and away their best win of the year. Give up the lead late. Whitlock didn't look too sharp. And then great at bats in the 9th inning, even though, 4 walks, 5 walks, something ridiculous to tie it up. But then just a bloodbath in the nightcap, 18 runs. Only reason I stayed up watching after the 5th inning was just to see if they could get to 20.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd like to see this team starting the season off with a sense of purpose, with a fight about them and finding things to rally around. So who else but Willie Abreu was going to walk off that game, as you mentioned, the first game of the doubleheader? I mean, he has just been absolutely spectacular for a guy that was in rumors all season long that, or all off season long, I should say that. But, for a guy that expectations, I think, is at least somewhat low for Willier, because he always seemed like kind of like the odd guy out of the outfield. But I mean, he has started absolutely red hot. It's a guy that you cannot take out of this lineup, and he has just been the heart and soul of the Red Sox team so far. So he's been really fun to watch. Go ahead, Fink.
Tony C, can you roll the tape of me hyping up Willier, our first ever episode? Appreciate that. But anyway, I mean, it's awesome to see Willier swing the bat like this. I mean, obviously the defense is a Gold Glove winning defender, but the stick, I mean, it's unreal right now. We kind of saw flashes of it when he came up that first time 2 years ago, that little stint. He swung it pretty well, especially in that Houston series late in the year. I mean, last year he was consistent, but more of a platoonish type player. But I mean, I'm so excited for the Willier breakout. He's awesome. I think he took the AL Rookie of the Year snubbing type kind of personal, and I mean, he's taking it and run with it. So it's been awesome to see. And the guy lost a ton of weight in spring training, didn't miss a beat. I mean,
speaking of snubs, he got snubbed again today. Out of the week he had, how the hell does he not win AL Player of the Week which it went to our other new guy, Alex Bregman, which no shots at Bregman by any means. He deserved it too. But what did Willier have to do to win that damn award?
Yeah, I mean, you look at his
Play
numbers to
every
start.
day,
I mean,
probably.
he's leading the league in hits. He's leading the league he's tied for the lead in hits with runners in scoring position, which is something that this team has struggled with out of the gate. Obviously he's going with the long ball. He's playing spectacular defense. I mean, I think he threw that ball from right field to Bregman yesterday at third base at like 150 miles an hour. I mean, it was just on a like dot too. I mean, it was just absolutely perfect. The only way that he was going to gun Newt Bar down, and so that was just absolutely amazing to see. He's a complete player right now.
No, he's a stud, and that throw reminds me of how Tony throws the football. He can spin a nice pigskin. I'll give him that. Nothing to say, Tony?
Appreciate that love, Fink.
Yeah, no problem. Take that into account when we do your question, my friend. But I just want to say that excuse me, that I'm thrilled by this start. I mean, the Texas series was a little frustrating because I mean they were 6 for 40 with guys on like with guys in scoring position. Sorry, like you gotta find a way to get some of those runs across. But I mean, the Baltimore series they did it, and then last night was absolutely awesome. We were watching on the bus on the way back from Holyoke, Mass. We had a conference game, won that 10-0. So kind of a teaser for the Red Sox game, I think. So we were watching that with some Yankees fans. They weren't loving what they saw. I think they're a little bit scared of what's going to come this summer into New York and when they come to Boston. So just a little teaser for them. But I mean, I'm excited. I want to see Walker Buehler look a little bit better, but we'll get into that later if we want to. Crochet's looked amazing. Everything you want in the ace. I mean, just gets up there, gets the ball and says, let me go. It's going to be 96, 97 by you. If you can hit it, great. If you can't, so what? I mean, I'm excited. I'm just going to keep saying I'm excited because we're only 10 games in. So, Tony, any thoughts on the Sox?
I'm just excited for this season. It started out with Rafi looking like shit, which we're going to get to that at some point, I'm sure. And he started to turn it around here. But I'm just excited for the season. Obviously, Willier, oh, man, he's the MVP of the league right now. And I don't think anyone could say they saw that coming. Fink, I know you were talking about him, but I don't think you even saw this coming.
Oh, no, definitely didn't see an MVP year coming. I did see a big year coming, but I didn't see 572. I mean, that's ridiculous, but there's really only a few things to be mad about, like David Hamilton just barely getting picked off at second base. I don't know, Walsh, did you see that?
I saw it.
Yeah.
But they actually got a run in.
Yeah.
Was it actually Rafi who got the sacrifice fly?
Yeah. Well, do you want to apologize to Rafi?
No, I stand by what I said. Like, I'm glad he's turned it around, but no, you do not get credit for coming in out of shape and throwing a pissing fit for the first 5 games. I'm sorry. Like, I'm glad he finally got his head out.
You're telling me is he still out of shape now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I'm just wondering because you said you don't get credit for coming in out of shape, so I was wondering if in those 5 games he just somehow got in shape. But it doesn't matter what fucking shape he is because the guy fucking mashes. That sac fly he just hit would have been gone in a nice summer day at Fenway, dead center. It just died because it's 30 degrees out of Fenway.
Well, that's great. If they lose the division by a game in September, and he's
you're
reaching.
those first 5 games. You're reaching. I'm done. You're reaching.
No.
You're reaching.
So you don't think accountability?
By one game, Devers started 0 for 19 in fucking March. Yeah. All right.
And do those first 5 games not count in the standings?
So Devers is the reason they started 1-3. Like, no. Okay. No one else hit besides Willier. No one else hit besides Willier in that series. What are you talking about?
Okay, and he's the one making $230 million.
Sedan hasn't hit. Costas hasn't hit. Wong hasn't hit.
Are those guys your
Christian Campbell would like
$330 Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, Christian Campbell did hit. It was Campbell and Abreu the whole Texas series.
So Fink, you don't value accountability? I'm holding our best guy accountable because he showed up out of shape and he was throwing a pissing match all spring training. I am giving him credit for turning it around as quickly as he did because I thought it was going to drag on for 3-4 weeks. That I'll say, okay, good, but that also doesn't erase how he has no one to blame but himself. And if
He's
you
not
don't want to
blaming
hold him
nobody.
accountable, I'm sorry, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for 162. Like you
That's
can
the
hold
way
people
you are
accountable and still be a
acting
fan of them.
should be.
You can still hold people accountable and still be a fan of them. Because you want to see them do better does not mean you hate them. I don't hate Rafi Devers. I like the guy. He is one of my favorite guys on the team, but he needs to be held accountable
I
for
think there's a
how he
difference.
handled the
between
system.
I think overreacting after 5 games is different than holding him accountable. I mean, it was five bad games.
5 of
If
the
that,
worst
and you're
games.
still
One of
walking
the
at it,
worst
you're still
one
taking.
of the worst starts in the history of the league, and it's
That's
been
great.
over a century.
That's great. You can sit back in your seat too. That's great because he's hitting 10 for his last 16. Just hit a sack fly. I don't care. And
Okay,
they're
so wait, if I'm overreacting to the first 5 games, why aren't you the one overreacting for the last 5 games?
because it's
Because
100.
he's not going to be hitting. He's not going to be hitting 10 for 16 for the rest of the way. So if I'm overreacting,
Because
you're
I
also
don't.
overreacting in the other direction.
My friend, I don't ride the emotional roller coaster of the ups and downs. I know how long a baseball season is, that you're gonna have hot stretches, you're gonna have cold stretches, and that's why my name right there, I don't know if you can see it, says Mr. Positive, because I know Rafi is a good player, he'll get out of it, and he's always gonna turn it around, his numbers are always gonna be there, and he'll be fine. Like,
I'm
that's
sorry,
why.
it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You need to hold people
Holy
accountable.
shit, I'm not saying it is. Oh my god. Okay, moving on. Oh my god, I'm not saying it is, but that's okay.
I mean, you just don't want to hold Rafi accountable and say that he deserves criticism.
There's nothing to hold him accountable for. You don't.
Bullshit.
Okay.
Like, you don't want to hold your best player accountable for the way he acted in spring training. It's no wonder that he's finally turned around after he got 37, 40 at bats. Like, all the magic numbers that people were saying that you need in spring training to be ready to go on time. He was not ready to go on
What did
time.
Corus say? Corus shit all over that. He said that's not true. Willier had 15 as well, and look how he's swinging it.
Of course he's going to protect his player. Of course. He's doing what a good manager does. He's going to protect his guys.
Sorry, I don't want to come for my. Sorry, I don't want to attack my players after 5 games. That when a lot of them didn't swing the bat well. Yeah, Rafi's was bad, but okay, it's over with now. It's a week ago at this point. Like, it's over with. So what? He's swinging it well now. That's what you should be talking about.
Accountability means nothing.
Yeah, accountability last week, not now. It's over with now. He's swinging it well. They're winning games now.
Okay,
talk about him now.
So that 10 for 16 in the last 5 games, it's over with. Let's not mention it. He doesn't get credit for that either. If everything in the past is in the past, you don't.
You take the positives, which 10 for 16 positive.
But you can't take the negatives?
Why do you want to be negative? That's just, you're wasting your energy. You got bags under your eyes because you're negative, my friend. You gotta sleep more, be more positive. You need CeraVe uplifting facial cream. You're so negative.
No. You gotta take the good with the bad. And you don't take the bad.
You take the bad with the bad. There's no good with you. There's no good.
I already said I give him credit for the last 5 games.
All negative, no good. Nothing's good. 6 and 4 is not good.
Okay, next time someone does something bad, you won't hold them accountable. It's all sunshine and rainbows.
I don't need to hold them accountable. I'm not their coach. I'm not nothing. I'm just a guy who enjoys watching good baseball and good players. There's no reason on this God's gift green earth I should be holding Rafael fucking Devers accountable for fucking anything. He can do what he wants. If he's gonna be Rafi Devers, sure. But yeah, if he went the whole season, didn't get a hit, and was 0 for whatever, I would be like, Rafi, come on, you need to be a little bit better. Sure. Is that what you want to hear? But everyone knows that's not going to happen. At worst, he's going to hit 280 with 25, 30 jacks. Like,
yep. Everything's sunshine and rainbows. I get it.
Oh my God. Yep, it is. You're right. Everything's sunshine and rainbows in my life. You're right.
Apparently, you don't believe in accountability. It's good to know.
That's not what I'm saying. Nate, please, is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, I missed this. This is.
I'm not saying I don't believe in accountability. I love accountability.
Well, apparently not. You're not holding Devers accountable for how he acted.
You know, I'm actually I'm very proud of you all for sticking with your guns here, but I actually kind of see both sides of Fink, I agree with you 100%. We are not of the position to hold anybody accountable when it comes to being a professional athlete. However, as a fan, we have certain expectations. And so I think the expectations that were set when somebody signs a $300 million contract is that they're going to be ready to go. And I don't think that he was ready to go when he came into the season. So I think he came in out of shape. I don't think he was fully healthy and was ready to start. I talked about this at nauseum in the last episode of, I think this falls just as much on the Red Sox as it does on Raffy. He just wasn't ready to go. He needed more at-bats, and he got those at-bats at the big league level rather than an extended spring or a rehab start. But he's turned it around. The offense doesn't look great tonight as we're recording on Monday night, but I mean, the offense as a whole has been extremely potent. And so that's something that this team has really based itself off of and something that we talked about at length this offseason was this is a deep lineup now. And now we're starting to have a lot more of these conversations of, well, what happens when Roman Anthony's hitting the cover off the ball in Worcester or Marcelo Meyer or any of these other guys? What happens when, Dick Fitz looks pretty good? Well, what happens when Giolito or Bayo or Cutter Crawford comes back? Like these are some of the questions that as the blueprint guys that we are starting to identify as things that will be on the chopping block, things that will be changing as we see fit, as we go forward. But changing subjects a little bit there of you guys. I mean, you guys have seen the start of the season. What's the biggest concern with the start that they've had? They're currently tied for first in the AL East.
I mean, for me, it's Walker Buehler. And it's just because he's not. I think coming into the year, I didn't expect him to be what he was in his younger years before the two Tommy Johns, whatever it is, the 99 Bayou, like just overpowering guys. But now it's like, it feels like a lesser version of Nick Pivetta almost. Like he's just trying to pitch around you, because he can't really strike you out. I know I think he has like 7 strikeouts on the year, but I mean, he's averaging like 93 with the fastball. He's throwing 5-6 different pitches, trying to nibble, trying to get it, like just try and pitch around you, get weak contact, and that's not who he is. I mean, obviously it's early, but I just hope to see Walker Buehler be more of the Walker Buehler of old, and even in the World Series, Walker Buehler. And I mean, don't know if that's what we've seen yet, but that's just my
Nick,
thought.
before I throw the same question to you, I think that it's an important point to note that I think Tyler Milliken's been really outspoken about this on Section 10 is Walker Buehler is dealing with a pretty new arsenal. And so I think there's going to be some learning curve, some growing pains there as he continues to adjust to being, to your point, not a power pitcher, which he was when he was most dominant coming up in the Dodgers system. And when he was at Vanderbilt, which I don't know if you guys remember those days, but he was absolutely electric at Vanderbilt. It was so much fun to watch. Anyway, so
Yeah,
I mean, Walker Buehler, I like that call out a lot because of all the bright spots with the depth of the rotation and everything like that. I mean, he's certainly one that he hasn't been atrocious, but he hasn't really lived up to what we were hoping for yet. Go ahead before I throw it to Nick.
Yeah, Nick, quickly before you go, I also just want Walker Buehler to succeed here because I want him to be here. I just feel like he's a fun player, like a guy that fits perfectly with what we're trying to do here, with what we have going on right now. So I only say that because I want him to succeed. I want him to be here. Like he said when he signed, he wants this to turn into a multi-year deal. Hopefully after this year, it's like kind of a prove-it deal to the Red Sox, and hopefully he can do that and be here for a while.
My answer,
Nick, same question to you.
It was basically on the same wavelength, but just a different player. I'm going with Tanner. He was penciled in as your number 2.
Great answer.
And like he hasn't pitched bad per se. He's been serviceable, and I wasn't expecting anything like the first half of last year where he was just absolutely dominant. But it's looking a lot closer to what he was in the second half of the year, and just not generating the swings and misses that he needs to, and just not being the number 2 that you need him to be.
I think Tony Maz put something out on his Twitter /X after Tanner's last start, and he compared the delivery when Houck was really, really rolling last year during that 2-month stretch versus his delivery this year. This year, he looks a lot more rigid. Last year, he was very, very fluid. Everything seemed to be like very relaxed and easy for him. And this year, he seems a lot more structured. And for a guy that's coming from his arm angle and his unique delivery that he puts a lot of torque on his elbow, I feel like the fluidity is something that really benefited him. And with the, I do worry of him being so rigid and being so, kind of pushing because he's not getting the results that he's looking for, that their risk of injury certainly goes up when that's the case. But we got a lot to talk about tonight, so let's move on.
Yeah, before we move on, I'm going to throw a question to our listeners. So, for you guys, which new Red Sox player are you most excited about this season? Wherever you're listening, just post your answer in the comments. We'll be looking at those. We'll interact. But we're going to do a quick Celtics check-in. Are they banner 19 bound? Nick, what's your thoughts so far as they wrap up this season?
Well, they have 3-4 games left. The playoffs start Easter weekend.
I think
They're
4-2 of them against the Hornets.
Yeah, they're basically locked into the second seed. Like mathematically, they're still in play for the number 1 seed, but it's not happening. Like being realistic, they're going to finish either at 59, 60 wins, somewhere right around there. And I saw today, I believe the only possible 3 opponents they can get after the play-in round in that 2-7 matchup is the Bulls, the Hawks, or the Magic. So that's who you're kind of looking at. Round 1, and then you're going to get New York in the second round, depending on who they get in their first round matchup. But they're going to have the New York Knicks bracket, which if they can, I'm not scared of Milwaukee, but if you can avoid Giannis if he's in the Cleveland bracket, I'm not going to shy away of saying, hey, last year I said the same thing, like, in the last 20 years, we've had too many freaking heart attacks in terms of championship runs. Like last year, it was nice to actually sit back and enjoy a championship run where it was not really that stressful. Like I'm not shy and too proud to say I want a challenging road. Like give me the easiest freaking road possible and I'm going to be just as happy. But in the East, no one really concerns me. Cleveland, if you get to game 7 and it's in Cleveland, yeah, I give Cleveland a chance. Obviously, anything can happen in one game, but I still think, assuming health, which I know Brown's dealing with a little bit of a knee issue that he's going to try to manage through. But assuming that their top 8-9 rotational guys are on the floor and functional, I don't see a Cleveland series going past 6. And then it's just who comes out of the West. More than likely, it's Oklahoma. And Oklahoma matches up with us well, so I'm not saying it's a lock or anything like that, but at least coming out of the East, I love our chances, and then I still like our chances in the final.
Yeah, I love the way the Celtics have finished things up. I mean, they've been amazing on the road. They've taken care of business late in the year, and sometimes you see teams somewhat coast to the playoffs, not coast, but like they're not as locked in here and there, but I mean, Joe Mazzulla, the guys have said it, Joe Mazzulla and the staff does a great job of keeping them locked in every single game, not making them feel like, oh, it's just another game. Like each game matters. They've been very intentional about that. They've looked great. I think they've been on multiple 5 or more game winning streaks. I think one ended the other night, but they won, I think, last night or the night before? They beat the Wizards. I think last night they beat the Wizards in like
last night was the Wizards
year or something. Saw on Twitter, but yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna win banner 19. I don't see anyone in the East challenging us. Give me Milwaukee, sure. I don't care. Cleveland will be fun, sure. I mean, 5 games max. Oklahoma City might go to 7 if they're lucky, but probably a sweep in 3.
Like
I think the Thunder are probably the ones that are the scariest. I saw on Get Up earlier this week that they're one of 3 or 4 teams that have outscored their opponents by 1,200 points in a season. or damn
Yeah,
close. And so
the way I was going to say, the way I look at the Thunder is the way I think the league looked at us a couple of years ago against Golden State. Like, would be on paper the better team, but just not ready yet. Like, we were the better team against Golden State, and we were just too young at the time. And you got to take those lumps. That Oklahoma City core, which is a damn good core, and they're going to get at least one banner out of them, but they still have yet to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like Brown and Tatum and the revolving door of the surrounding cast throughout their time together kept knocking on the door, getting to Eastern Conference Finals, getting to finals and falling short. So they learned to take those lumps and learn what it took to get there and they finally did. So I'm not saying Oklahoma City's gonna lose to us just because of that, but that's one like notch in the cap that I put towards us where I still like our chances. Even if Oklahoma City technically is the better team on paper, setting all these records.
I mean, that is their knock is that they're a young team, but they also have, so comparing the two, right? It's SGA from it compares to the Tatum from a couple years ago, a budding superstar. He's likely to be the MVP this year. I mean, he's been everything that they've wanted and more, but they are a young team that doesn't necessarily have the playoff resume that one would expect, particularly in the NBA, that does take a certain level of experience to get the job done. And that's certainly where the C's have the leg up.
Tony, what do you think?
I agree with you guys on the Eastern Conference. I don't like to look past any team, but it does feel like a very weak East. And starting with the Bucks not having Dame Lillard, I mean, that's a huge loss for them. Obviously, I don't even think with Dame Lillard they'd get more than a game over us, but that is a big loss. So it did come down to them in the Eastern Conference. But a team you guys didn't even mention in the West, and to me, and I'd like to hear what you guys think about this, they'd be scarier than OKC because of one man, and that's the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. He is, I don't think you're shaking your head, man. He is generational. No. He's unreal. He's probably the best basketball player I've seen play.
And you're forgetting one other man on that team, Russell Westbrook.
And that's your reasoning for why they didn't win.
Blew Jokic's 61-point game, missed 2 free throws, missed a layup in transition. He'll find a way.
He won't be playing in the finals if Jamal Murray's back, and playoff Murray is different.
Only against the Lakers. Literally only against the Lakers.
Can I just say Fink is holding Russell Westbrook more accountable than he held Rafi Devers?
Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's the shape of Italy?
Nice try.
All right, so moving on. Oh, found his way back. Let me guess.
I have the powers to bring myself back, so nice try.
Yep. Knew that was coming. Moving on, though, in the Celtics world, Nate, what's your prediction? They're going to win the finals?
Back to back?
Yep.
I think it would be good for the pod.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. Little banner blueprint parade. Little banner parade.
Yeah. It would be the first Celtics team to do it since the 68-69 Bill Russell coached Celtics. Nice.
Can I pose a question to you guys about this team and the legacy with them?
Sure.
Nick, you kind of mentioned it about the path being easy. And even last year, the path was arguably pretty easy. We didn't have to sweat at all. Do you think that plays into account if we say we go through this whole playoff series, we get through, it's a dominant run, we get to the finals, and whoever we play in the finals, it's not a sweat for us. Does that matter in the legacy terms for this team when they rank the great Celtics teams? Is that going to matter? Even though they might have been better, it doesn't matter to you? And Fink and Nate, all you guys answer.
No.
I'm going to say it does matter, but not in the reason you think it matters. If you go back to back,
I want to hear it.
If you go back to back and steamroll your way through 2 straight playoffs to go back to back, then I think it does affect your legacy in terms of that these guys are fucking awesome. Like,
okay, Fink and I are actually going to agree on this.
If you go 16-2 last year, which they did, and you somehow do that again this year or somehow do better, I mean, that affects your legacy. It doesn't tarnish it at all. It should add something to it, I think. If you don't have to sweat through 2 straight playoffs, I mean, I don't see how that's not like a gold star on your resume.
I'm with Fink lockstep on this one. The way you were asking it, I obviously took it as, does it tarnish their legacy? And that's why I was no. But the way Fink just said, if they steamroll again and it's an easy route, no way in hell. Like,
yeah, Nick, the only reason I say that is because after we won this last one, that was a big thing talked about, is the path that the Celtics had to go through and what it matters for Tatum and Brown's legacy and all that thing. And I agree with you guys. You can only play who's in front of you. So I always hate that argument. They can only play who they get matched up with and how good that team is.
Okay, in the moment, yes.
They were tested last year. They were tested in that Indiana series. They had to win some close games. Jaylen Brown played out of
man. If you're really, come on, bro. Are you really bringing up Indiana?
Bro,
but that's not a team. I understand what you're saying. I think in like the grand scheme of things, is that
I'm not saying, oh my god, they were tested like it was game. No, I'm just saying, like, it's not like they just sprinted right to the. It
was their toughest series.
Yes, they overcame it and they finished 16-2. Nick,
I was going to say, in the moment, to go back to your original point, Tony. Yes, in the moment, you're going to get the Nick Wrights of the world, the Stephen A. Smiths talking about how it's an easy road and should discredit them. But in 10, 15, 20 years, no one's going to give a shit unless they're a psycho like me who can recall stupid old scores and stupid old series and tell you the exact matchups like I did last week in the Red Sox 04 trivia question. But no, like no one's going to remember who exactly you played on the way there without looking it up. Let's go to just put it to the test. We all know the Patriots and Brady won 6 Super Bowls with us. Their second Super Bowl win they beat the Panthers in Super Bowl 38. Do you remember who they played on their way to the Super Bowl, their first 2 playoff games? Without looking it up?
No clue.
Exactly. Like, that's the point. Like, most people won't know. All they'll look at is, oh, the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls with Brady. You'll look back in 15, 20 years. If they win this one this year, oh my God, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Joe Mazzulla led the Celtics to their first back-to-back championship in 50 years. And with all the great players the Celtics and great teams that the Celtics have had throughout their history, that they'd be the first core to do it in over 50 years. That's what you'll remember. Not if they played Chicago or Orlando in round 1. It just won't matter.
So that leads me into my question. Who would you like to play round 1? I'll tell you who I don't want to play, and that's Chicago. They just seem kind of like a trap team. They run at a high pace. They're going to chuck up a lot of threes, kind of like us. They don't really have anything to lose. They have, like, Josh Giddey's playing free. I mean, sometimes he's fun to watch. No Giddey, but, I mean, I just don't want to play. I don't want to play the Bulls.
See, round 1, I think it's just a tune-up regardless. So if you get a team that kind of gives you a little bit of a push, I'm not against it. Like, last year, everyone was afraid of Miami because Miami was the boogeyman. They're the ones that have given us fits throughout all this time. And I know Jimmy Butler got hurt, but I was the one that wanted the Heat, like, bring it on. Like, if that's truly your boogeyman and you can get rid of them in round 1, that I thought helped set the tone for the rest of the playoff run where you kind of get that monkey off your back of the Miami Heat. And yes, it comes with a little bit of an asterisk with Jimmy Butler not there. But like what I like the year they did make it to the finals and lost to Golden State, like they got Brooklyn in round 1 and everyone was scared of Brooklyn because of KD and Kyrie, and they swept the floor with them. It's round 1. If they struggle in round 1 against the Bulls, they weren't winning the whole thing anyway. That's the way I look at it. So out of the 3 mathematically possible teams, I'm not afraid of any of them. Whoever you get, I'm more intrigued about who you get round 2. If it's going to be New York or whoever New York faces in round 1.
I mean, there's a chance New York doesn't even make it out. I think they're awful.
That's why I kind of want New York, to be honest with you. One, the Boston New York rivalry, but
And
also
we have shit on them
I
every year this year.
yeah, I'm not afraid of them at all. Like that's one where if you could bet on them sweeping in 3, yeah, I would.
They, for some reason, they've just dominated them. I wouldn't have liked to see last year's Knick team.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like they got rid of their whole DNA and what made
They
them
did with
who they
Hartenstein
were.
and DiVincenzo. They lost their entire defensive identity, letting those two go,
100%.
which was awful, 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 awful. But before we move on from the Celtics portion of this podcast, I'm going to throw it to you, Celtics fans. Do you think the Celtics will repeat as champs? If not, how far will they go, and what will be the reason that they didn't make it back-to-back championships? Jesus, I butchered that. But let us know in the comments. We'll engage with that. But let's move into the Bruins. I'm gonna have Nate kind of kick us off here, or drop the puck, as some might say.
Yeah, it has not been pretty, which is kind of what the intention was, right? Coming out of the trade deadline, selling off a bunch of pieces. It was preparing for this offseason. It was shedding some cap. It was getting draft capital. It was not winning close games so that you could improve your draft stock. Well, they've done that pretty well. Other than the other night against Carolina, they absolutely took it to Carolina at home the other night, which was very strange. 5-point night from Pasta. But anyway, so they are currently sitting 29th in the league, 31, 38, and 9 for 71 points and a .45 win percentage, or point percentage, excuse me. So obviously, this team has a lot of growing to do, a lot of blueprint planning to do this offseason. So you were just talking about identity with the Celtics and talking about identity specifically with the Knicks, but this is a team that needs to reestablish its identity after shipping away some of the more grizzled veterans that have been in Boston for a long time, looking specifically at Marchand, of course. But this is a team that, certainly can turn things around, and in my opinion, can turn things around pretty quickly, particularly if Swayman can get his head out of his ass. But, this is a team that a healthy McAvoy, a healthy Pasternak, healthy both Lindholms, and then you get in some deeper veteran lineup teams. This is a team that can start making some noise and making some noise in a hurry. So that hasn't looked pretty since the deadline, but we didn't expect it to, as we were in full on sell/tank mode.
Nick,
Can
is
I
Dom
just
the guy to be the foreman of this rebuild or retool, whatever you want to call it?
No, but I think he's stuck with him, so it's you gotta just hope he gets it pick right. Like I do want to make an apology because I want to say I was dead wrong because of everything that Nate just said. I thought this team and the way the roster was, that they were just too talented to fall off a cliff and actually go into full on tank mode. But oh boy, losing 10 of 11 or whatever it was, a 10-game losing streak. They're now sitting at number 4 in odds of winning the lottery. Like, I never expected this in a heartbeat. And to be honest with you, I still don't know who the number 1 draft pick is going to be this year. Not in terms of team, but in terms of player. Like, I never thought we had to worry about that this year. So I never really looked into who's coming up in the draft. So I guess we're going to have to start diving deep into that for our next Bruins episode. But as far as I know, there's not a Connor Bedard in this draft. Like, this is the who?
I think his last name's Hagens, Nate.
Yeah. Hagen coming out of the OHL, the Ontario League, I'm pretty sure. He's phenomenal. I wouldn't put him in the Bedard tier or the Hughes. tier or the Celebrini tier, but he's, from all accounts, at least early days, he looks like he's one of, if not the top prospect without question.
I've seen a few mocks, and he has been. I mean, I've seen the mocks I've seen have been the Bruins at like 5, and he's been there at 5.
So they're currently tied with 71 points for that 4 or 5 spot, and the 3 teams ahead of them are in terms of below them because they're worse, are at this point pretty well locked into that top 3 pick spot, given just draft lottery chances. But I was just going to point that out, Nick, because coming into this year, we had pretty good expectations, right? We went out, we spent some money on Lindholm and Zadorov, and we were feeling pretty good about signing Swayman and coming into this year hot. But how about the Nashville Predators that on day one of NHL free agency last year, they went out and spent all the money on Stamkos and the big defenseman there that I am completely blanking on his name right now, but they went out, they spent a bunch of money, and they had all the expectations of the world, and they're the team that is currently below us in number 3 right now with simply 62 points. So they're 9 points worse at this point in the season. I mean, it could always be worse, I guess.
Absolutely. But at this point, for the last few games of the season, it's the worse you can be, the better it is for right now. Because right now, the last couple of weeks, wins feel like losses and losses feel like wins. It's the 2022, 2023 New England Patriots seasons all over again, where you're bitching about Chad Ryland kicking a meaningless field goal in Denver on Christmas Eve. That's how it feels being a Bruins fan right now. But we expected those Patriots teams to be that bad. We did not expect the Bruins to be this bad. We thought last year they took care of Toronto in Game 7 in round 1, and they ended up basically getting gentlemen swept against Florida. You went out and got guys that you got what you thought was going to be a number 1 center in Lindholm, and you got a big lumbering defenseman, Zadorov, thinking that was going to bring some toughness and size and hitting in toughness to your game to go up against Florida, and they just fell on their face. And what does it say that you fired Jim Montgomery and he's led the Blues to a playoff spot?
I just want to take a quick moment to interrupt that Robert Stock is warming in the Red Sox bullpen right now. I think that's pretty awesome. They called him up today after the Priester trade, and yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, back to the Bruins.
Yeah, so one of the silver linings, if you will. So one of their remaining games is unfortunately against Chicago, which is another one of those teams that's worse than us. So it's just going to be a who can be worse on that given night type of game. But they do have 2 remaining games against the Devils, and the Devils are certainly still squarely fighting for their playoff spot. So they're 3rd in the Metro right now, but they would be 2nd wild card spot should they drop that. So that's a blessing that there's 2 games against a team that's still fighting for their spot.
Yeah, so moving on into the Patriots, this one we're going to keep pretty short and sweet as we're going to be diving deeper into the Patriots on Thursday and as we get closer to the draft. But let's quickly go over the Pats. They traded Joe Milton to the Cowboys. Nick and Nate, we talked about it in the chat a little bit, but what were your thoughts on that?
First reaction, I was surprised that was all that they ended up getting. I mean, just given the amount of rumors that were coming out, obviously the physical specimen that Joe Milton is, I was kind of surprised that was all they got. But it did seem as though they were working on a pretty strict timeline as they wanted him out the door before voluntary workouts started today.
Yeah, and I think we were surprised at the return because simply to go back to a Psych 101 class in college, it kind of the anchoring effect, because what the media told us, the asking price was going to be a 3rd round pick. So all of us naturally had 3rd round pick in our mind. So seeing us swap for a 5th for a 7th seemed light, but also for a backup quarterback who's had 1 career start and a 6th round pick and the career start was against third string defensive players. I mean, it's not it's underwhelming because of the thought of the third round pick, but in terms of if it was any other backup quarterback around the league that was coming off a rookie year 6th round pick, you basically turned it into a 5th round selection. So, I mean, it's hard to be mad about trading a backup quarterback in general when you have your franchise guy there, because let's face it, if Drake May goes down, I don't care if it's Joe Milton or anyone else back there, you're not winning a Super Bowl, because Tom Brady's don't fall off of trees being 6th round picks and coming in for an injured quarterback. It doesn't happen. So if Drake May goes down, the season goes down with it. So I'm not getting too worked up over the return of Joe Milton.
I mean, it did seem to, from a locker room perspective, of Vrabel setting the culture, and it didn't seem as though Milton's attitude of he wanted to start over May bode very well in the locker room. It seemed as though, and of course, all these things are coming out after the fact, right? So it kind of you have to question the validity of these things, but it's all the talk is that he was boisterous in the clubhouse, or in the locker room rather, that he wanted to start over Drake May, that he thought that he had a shot to compete with Drake May for the starting job, and so on and so forth. And that's just not what's best for Drake May in his development. And so I agree with Vrabel's move and I do think this was very much Vrabel driven, of getting that distraction out of the locker room. And it really does kind of go back to, why did we draft him in the first place? You know, we already had Brissett signed. We went into the draft pretty well knowing we were going to end up with one of Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, or Drake May. And so why did we end up with that pick in the first place? But
because Mayo won.
Yeah, by all accounts, it was a Mayo pick, but
for sure. But again, I would ask him the same question. Why? What is the point? I
think we learned last year that there wasn't any logical reason that if you asked Gerard Mayo why you were going to get, to be honest with you. And I don't mean to kick the guy why he's down, but let's face it, he wasn't ready for the job. And this, don't get me wrong, Belichick deserved to be let go when he did. It had run its course, but that doesn't mean the Belichick way of doing things, of basically having one guy call the shots, is a bad thing. And last year we kind of saw this hands-on group project approach, and it fell completely on its face. So getting a guy like Vrabel who can command a room and have that commanding presence to basically call your shot and go through it. He said at the coach's breakfast last week, basically, if it goes wrong, put it on him. He's a big boy. He can take it. I think that's called accountability, by the way, but we won't go back there.
Honestly,
it's time for the 2-minute question.
I just saved you because I was going to rip you a fucking new one.
Save it for the game thing. You're going to get on the board today, I think, with this question.
Why am I so dark?
You lost the lighting, bro. Someone took away your lighting. Today's question is going to involve an actor and his movies.
Adam Sandler.
That's a great guess. And for that guess, you're getting minus a point for interrupting me. All right? So have some respect. Maybe I'll give you it back if I'm feeling nice. All right? Be respectful, Mr. Positive. Now, have you guys heard about that Minecraft movie that's out?
Jack Black.
No.
Yeah, the Jack Black movie. You haven't seen that? It's the highest grossing video game movie
I've
ever.
never been,
113 million.
I've never been a Minecraft person, so it doesn't really.
Fair enough. I won't be going to the movie, but it's his highest grossing movie ever. And it's killing it in the box office. It's the biggest video game movie ever and all that. So how this question is going to work today is I'm going to ask it. First hand I see up, I'll go with. I'm going to take no points away if you get it wrong, but you can guess once, and then you got to wait till the other two people go to guess again. All right? And it'll go in order of who I see hands up first. So, not naming the Minecraft movie, what is Jack Black's highest grossing movie? Nate.
The Holiday.
No.
Damn.
Think.
Nacho Libre.
That is a great movie, but no. Nick.
School of Rock.
It is not. I'll give you Nate.
Jumanji.
No, it is not.
I forgot
Is
he
he
was
in
in it.
Jumanji?
I'm out of Jack Black movie ideas. Sausage
Never
Party.
seen
Is it an animation movie?
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a hint. It is an animation movie, and it's also before this movie, it was the highest grossing video game movie ever.
Pac-Man.
Incorrect. And you didn't raise your hand,
Is
so
there a
that's
Pac-Man
minus
movie?
2 points. He's not in a Pac-Man movie, so I don't know where you got that from.
Was there a Mario movie made?
Yeah,
Is
there
that your
was.
guess, Nick?
I'm going
Well,
to guess
Wreck-It
Jack
Ralph.
Black was in
Mario.
it.
Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph.
Nick is correct with the Mario movie.
Oh my god, bro.
Dude, I was hoping someone would steal it from him when I go, are you sure that's your answer? Yeah, the Mario movie. That's his highest grossing movie ever before Minecraft. And he played like Bowser, and I didn't even go see it, but I just looked it up.
Oh.
Bowser in that. But yeah, so Nick, you get another point on the board. I'm gonna have to add up the points again because I have no clue what the score is. I just know Fink is in the negatives for being
No,
Mr.
Can I
Positive.
get a point for telling you how much money the movie grossed in its opening weekend?
No, because you chat GPT'd it.
Where? I saw it on Instagram this morning. 331 million.
Kind of like you did on that Days in Space question.
Fink, I'm surprised you don't like Jack Black. I think you could play him in a biopic one day.
Maybe that'll be the same day you're able to ride the roller coaster.
There you go.
All right. Well, on that note, that's
Yeah,
all from us. So, final
No,
thought.
I got a football question for you guys. Did you guys see what happened in Carolina today with the
No.
Panthers?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they signed the 6'9" Coastal Carolina basketball player.
Yes, thank you for paying attention to the Instagram. So Coastal Carolina sent a basketball player. I'm going to screw up his name because I was just looking at it. Colin Granger, 6'9". He was signed by the Panthers today, a couple weeks ahead of the NFL draft. Now, people are questioning, well, why would they have done that? Because obviously, he's never played football before above high school, and B, why was he not draft eligible? Well, as the rule states, that the NFL team is eligible to sign anybody that has at least surpassed 5 years post high school. And so my question is to you all, and of course you can't play in an FBS or FCS school, then you have to declare for the NFL draft. Okay, now we're set. So my question to you all is, name another athlete that you would like to pluck from that current roster to put onto this Patriots team.
Are we including age? Because the reason I asked
Yes,
that is
we're
because,
including age.
okay, I was going to say, because if you take prime LeBron, like
That's always the answer. But yes, we're taking.
That's
if
why
you're taking LeBron, it's 40-year-old LeBron.
That's why I was asking. I wanted a clarification. So
You're the
now I
type
gotta
of guy to
think about
read the fine fucking print, aren't you? You read the fine print.
Well, sometimes you got to. Don't want to sign a bad contract now, do you?
Well, you signed one joining this podcast because I get to kick you whenever you want, whenever I want. You forgot I'm
Does
able
Nick
to
not have
join.
the power to do this as well?
Oh, I do.
He knows he has the power to do it.
Like that.
Oh
And
God.
aren't we all better off?
We're
Nate,
off the
I think you
rails.
posed a great question, man. And I'm taking
Thank
this
you.
question seriously.
I'm trying to
Do you,
think.
any of you guys want to finish your answers before
Who the hell
Nick-
do you think you are?
Oh, okay, buddy.
So I'll give you an answer.
No.
I'll give you an answer just because I think it would be incredibly fun, and I know that this guy could do it. I'm taking Mookie Betts, and I'm just sticking him in the slot or something like that. Dude is a freak athlete, and I just know that he could go out, he could run routes, he could get open. His hands are of gold, and I don't know how he would do taking hits, but we could cross that bridge when we come to it.
All right, I got mine. I'm
I
sticking
got
to
mine too.
Daniel Vogelbach.
Sticking
What
him at
about-
left tackle?
No, fullback.
Oh,
Vogelbach, the fullback.
there you go.
And that works perfectly because the Patriots have been in the market for a fullback.
If he could stay healthy, I still think Mike Trout, put him at tight end. He has the speed and size. Like, if he could
He
just
would
stay
die.
fit.
Mike Trout would be a tiny tight end.
He would die. Give me KD
Well, we all-
out.
Mike Trout's like 6'2".
Yeah, we all want a tiny left tackle, so let's go with a tiny tight end.
Oh my God.
No
You-
one
hey,
wants a tiny tackle. What podcast do you listen to? We all want Travis Hunter, dumbass.
Will Campbell is huge, man. He's 6'6", 330 pounds.
It's a little bit
Still
bigger than
gonna
I
be-
am.
Still going to be the
would
smallest
eat
left
you
tackle
for
taken in the
breakfast.
last 25 years.
He would eat you to cleanse his palate before breakfast.
Yeah, and he's still going to be the smallest left tackle prospect in 25 years.
Oh, Nards.
I think
Joe
that's
Burrow's hands were
factually
too
false.
small. Joe Burrow's hands were too small, and look where he does.
He's significantly bigger than Isaiah Wynn. He's not even going to be the smallest Patriots left tackle in the last 5 years or however long ago they drafted Isaiah Wynn. 2018, so 10 years ago.
Still not taking him in pick number 4. But we'll get into
You
that
are
on
going to
Thursday.
eat those words. You are going to eat those words because Fink, I'm sorry, I'm 100% on the Travis Hunter, and we're going to get into this in very much detail on Thursday, and we get to have all of this debate all over again. But I don't know that Travis Hunter is going to be there at 4. Which thank you, Joe Milton.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, on that note, I think we should wrap this puppy up. So, Nate, how about you plug those socials? We'll get into our final thoughts after that, and then we'll sign off for the evening.
Yeah, so if you like this episode and all of our other episodes, please go rate 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, and watch all of our episodes on YouTube. But follow us on all of our socials at Boston Banner BP on Twitter, Boston Banner Blueprint on both Facebook and Instagram, and then at boston.banner.blu, short for Blueprint, on TikTok. Closing thoughts.
Tony, closing thoughts.
I just want to say, when Nate asked that question, you want to know who I pictured in some football pads for the Patriots? Wemby. I want to see that guy out there running routes. I want to see him out there running routes, mossing guys, and then get absolutely obliterated one time over the middle by a 260-pound linebacker coming at him full speed. Does he make it through 5 games? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Does he make it through 5 snaps?
He wouldn't make it through the first week of OTAs.
Well, there'd be 2 snaps. His legs breaking after getting hit. That's what would happen.
100%.
The only way you
ref
could
would,
go.
the ref would have his hand on the flag immediately for a shot to the knee, like that, because the guy would go in shoulder level and it'd just take his knees out.
There'd be no way to bring him down. Football would go to flag football just because Wemby joined the league.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
a
what I
great
thought of
call-out,
Nate.
though.
I thought it was a great question.
Can I get my closing thought as a question to Fink and PT because they weren't on the episode last time?
Is that
We
your
didn't
question?
get into
You can ask a question.
torpedo bats. Are you mad at the Yankees or not mad at the Yankees?
I'm not mad at the Yankees because it's clear that the MLB told them that this guy was working on it and they like kind of sent him their way. I don't think the Yankees were just like, oh, like I think the MLB I don't know. I'm not mad at it. I think it's a little frustrating because I don't know if hitters should be rewarded for making contact with the bad part of the bat, but I don't hate it. Like, I think eventually everyone's probably going to use it because it's not going to get banned. So offense is just going to soar, I think, and it's just everyone's going to have their own torpedo bat wherever they most often make contact, and then it's just going to be it is what it is. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it looks weird, but I might buy one just to have one.
Tony?
I agree with Fink on that. I think it's kind of like a Patriots move. They saw this way in the rule book where they could get away with it, and they did it. And it's not against any real rules. I just hate the way it looks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Yeah.
not a traditional baseball guy ever, but I hate the way that bat looks.
Yeah.
So I
And
hope they change it after this year.
Yeah, my stance was that it's within the rules. Applaud the Yankees for their nerds finding a way to not really trick the system, but to be innovative.
Well,
I
do you
will
know the guy's
say
story who invented it?
is
Or
from
like,
MIT. He was a
yeah,
professor
but
at MIT.
yeah, and he got bored and just joined the Yankees minor league hitting
Yeah.
department and started asking questions. And the
Yeah.
thing that kept coming up was, I keep getting jammed. So, and he's like, yeah, it's the easiest thing to make. I mean, you go on the lathe, put in whatever you want, and it's right there. Like, once they finally
Yeah.
figured out how to do it within the dimensions. So, I
Right.
mean,
Right.
I think it
And
just goes back, like I said, and everyone's gonna have their own. Like, everyone's gonna have a custom
Yeah.
fucking torpedo bat. And then I need
I-
torpedo golf clubs. Give me some torpedo golf clubs, my man.
well, I said to Nate the other night on our episode that I applaud the Yankees, but at the end of the day, they're still pussies because back in our day, our ball players use anabolic steroids, not gimmicking bats. Bring back the needles.
That would be a lot better. Imagine Raffy juiced. Imagine Raffy absolutely juiced. That'd be sick. He'd still be fat, but he'd be ripped. But my
You still
closing
have to
thought
work
is,
out if you do steroids. So I don't think it would change Rafi much.
I do 12-ounce curls.
Can I do my closing thought real quick before we close the
Yep.
show? Because I think this is
I gotta do
important.
my closing thought too.
Good. Well, shout out to Alex Ovechkin, man.
Yes.
895. What an accomplishment. One of the greatest goal scorers, obviously, of all time. But how lucky are we that we get to witness the great eight? Ovi's office. I mean, he's a player that obviously is not somebody that you want to play the Bruins because he's great. But he's so much fun to watch, and obviously to see his reaction, his teammates' reaction, have Gretzky in the building, and for him to pass him on the exact number of games that it took for Gretzky to score his number of goals was super cool. Obviously, it does not replace what Gretzky did because Gretzky still has like 1,200 more assists or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
That Gretzky still is the greatest to ever do it. But I mean, what an accomplishment, and shout out to Alex Ovechkin.
It's one of those sports records that you never thought would be broken. Like it is Cal Ripken's game streak. It is Joe DiMaggio's hit streak. It's before Bonds took steroids. It was the Hank Aaron home run mark. Like there's these stats and records throughout this sports that you hold to the pinnacle of, yeah, records are made to be broken, but these are the records that are never going to be broken. And we just saw yesterday one of those records come down. And it's like, how far is Ovi going to go now? Like, so that is one of those hockey moments and sports moments that we're all going to look back on and be like, holy shit, we got to witness that.
My closing thoughts is that I do know what accountability is. My coach says it every single day, but I just don't think I'm in any place to hold Rafael Devers accountable, like I said earlier. And I don't think you are either, Nick, because you are the most negative person I know. You didn't even give him any credit for the 10 for 16 until I brought it up. So I don't think you can question me holding someone accountable when all you want to talk about is the negative. You immediately went to the negative then instead of talking about the 10 for 16. That's my closing thoughts. So thanks for listening this long. We appreciate you guys. Episode 20. It's kind of a milestone, a little bit. A lot of podcasts don't make it through 3. We've made it through 20, and so have you. So thanks for spending your time with us. We appreciate it. We'll see you. We're going to record Thursday, but we'll see you probably Friday whenever Tony gets it up. Peace.